friends, it's Jessie here. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. Once again, I am filming at the absolute worst time of day in my office. I've got direct sun coming in the window. I've tried to block it some, but it's really bad. Bear with me. Again, I gotta figure a better way to do this out, but for now, we're just rolling with it. I am here to wrap up my budget for October 10th through the 16th, and then we're gonna do something crazy, and we're gonna totally skip a week because I got behind and couldn't film last week. So I just kind of did my own thing off camera, but I didn't want to leave you hanging with this weekly budget that we set up together, so I figured I would pop in, let you guys know how it went, and then we would skip ahead to the current week and write out the budget. So if you don't mind the crazy lighting, I'm going to try to fix it in editing, but I don't know how well it's going to work. We'll see. Just stay tuned. So let's see. Where's my pen? This video is already a mess. I should just cancel it, but I didn't bring you guys a budget video last week, and I know you guys love these. So here's my pen. We're going to talk about what we spent last week. So I'm going to go ahead and flip over to this expense tracker side, and we're going to talk about it. So starting out with miscellaneous bills, when I set up this budget with you all, I said that I was going to just lump a bunch of bills together that I'd rather keep private. And the amount that I spent for those was $2,489.24. And then I did a transaction where I added money to my son's school lunch account, and that amount ended up being $22.99. I did not write down dates at all for these either. Really just kind of winging it with this video. I hope you guys don't mind. For spending, I had an Amazon transaction. This was spending. And that amount was $15.26. I paid my Sleep Number credit card, and that was $300. For groceries, these I do have dates for. On 10/12, I went to Walmart. And I spent $184.14 on groceries. And then I went back to Walmart on the 15th and bought a bunch of household stuff, which is also in our grocery budget. It's considered grocery, even though we're not eating like toilet paper and stuff. I just lumped that all into one category for $94.99. We had one eating out expense, and again, I didn't write down the date, but that was Dairy Queen for $30.14. So, if I'm not mistaken, that's everything we spent last week. And now I'm going to go ahead and use these numbers to fill in my budget for the week so we can see how we did. So, should I zoom you guys in? Nah, let's just get through this. I'll zoom you in when I write out the budget for the new week. So for miscellaneous bills, we budgeted $2,500, and the amount that we spent was $2,489.24. So pretty darn close. For Sleep Number, that's the payment for my Sleep Number bed. I budgeted $300. We spent $300. For school lunch, I budgeted $20. I mentioned in that last video that I give my son like $20 a month just for like extra snacks and stuff at school. He does get free lunch. Everyone in the public school system in Michigan gets free lunch right now, which is truly a blessing. But that $20 is just for anything above and beyond that. I neglected, though, to factor in the fee that you have to pay when paying with a card and adding money. There's like a transaction fee, so that came in at $22.99, just a little bit higher than what I budgeted. I had mentioned that we were going to go to the vet and pick up my dog's heartworm medication. Flea medication, we didn't end up getting there that week, so that is 0. And then YouTube Premium, which I did forget to put down here. That did come out, and it was $22.99. So a little bit under budget there. So for this category, we budgeted $2,945, and then the amount that we spent, 2489.24 plus 300 plus 22.99 plus 22.99. I messed this up. Yes, I did. School lunch was not $22.99. It was $22.85. I transposed those numbers. So, as if this wasn't already a hot mess, we'll go ahead and fix that. And we'll try this again. 2489.24 plus 300 plus 22.85 plus 22.99 is $2,835.08. Moving on down here to the cash envelope section, which you guys already know I use for my variable expenses. For groceries, I budgeted $250. We had those 2 transactions. One was $184.14. The other was $94.99. We spent a grand total of $279.13. So we are over budget in that category. However, we only had 1 eating out transaction for $30.14, so that definitely makes that up. Also, I kept my spending really low last week. I only spent $15.26. And then miscellaneous, we did have $50 in miscellaneous expenses. I don't remember what they are. I just was kind of keeping tally of what we spent, and it was right at the $50 mark. I know that 20 of this went to my son. He asked me for cash for something. So $279.13 plus $30.14 plus $15.26 plus $50. We spent $374.53 of the $450 that we budgeted. So that was really good. I also did send $100 for city for my extra debt. So that was $100 as planned. My apologies for the road noise. I'm going to try to edit some of that out in post, but it's the time of day that I always end up filming where the lighting is crappy and the traffic is heavy. My apologies. So for sinking funds, I budgeted $105, but let's find out how much I was actually able to send. So for my total budget, I had $3,600. I'm going to fold this in half to make it a little bit easier. $3,600. For the checking amount, which is my fixed expenses, I paid $2,835.08. For cash envelopes, which we know is my variable expenses, I paid $374.53. For extra debt, I paid $100. And you all know I always want to try to get a zero-based budget. So let's really quickly do some math. 3,600 minus the 2,835.08 minus 374.53 minus 100 is 290.39. So I had budgeted 105 to put into sinking funds. The amount that I actually put into sinking funds was 200. So if I subtract that 200, that left me with $90.39, which I just rolled over to the new week. We didn't plan to roll anything over, but we rolled 90.39. And that is how that week went. Even with the craziness of how much I spent with groceries, I was able to even it out and still put more aside for sinking funds than what I originally planned. So that's great news. You guys will see a sinking funds video at the end of the month. All right, now let's go ahead and flip over to the new week and get that budget set up. I'm going to tell you guys, there's not a whole lot going on this week. The majority of our bills and everything went out during this week. So in the first week of the month was kind of high in bills too. There's not a whole heck of a lot left to pay. So we're going to go ahead and flip the page. This budget is going to be October 24th through, let me take a look at what the 24th through the 30th. So it's really the last paycheck of the month, which is great. So let's get into it. Okay, I've zoomed you guys in a little bit, and that helps mitigate the crazy lighting in this video, which I'm grateful for. The amount that we are budgeting for this last week of October is $1,000. Like I said, the majority of our bills are paid. We're just wrapping up the month with a few last minute things. So $1,000 is what I have planned to go out this week. And we'll start out here in this checking section for my fixed expenses. We just have a couple of bills. Netflix, which I can never remember exactly how much Netflix is. Is it 15 and change? Is it 20 and change? I don't remember. I budgeted $16 for this, but I did, you'll see here in a minute, put in a little bit of a buffer just in case I'm wrong or if anything else comes up that I've forgotten. We've talked about this a lot this month in my budgeting videos. I'm very rusty when it comes to budgeting. So building in buffers and having extra money set aside in case there's something that comes up that I've neglected to think about has really helped me out this week. The other thing that's coming out this week is my husband's motorcycle insurance. And the amount that I have budgeted for that is $25. That's it. That's the rest of the bills, as far as I know. But just in case, we've got that buffer. And the amount that I put into the buffer is $50. That should do it. So the amount then for this section, easy peasy, 16 plus 25 plus 50 is $91. Not a whole lot. Helps make up for that week when we had $2,500 in bills that went out. Excuse me, I don't know what just happened to my voice there. All right, moving on then to this cash envelope section, which is where I put all of our variable expenses. I'm going to go ahead and write in our categories. We have grocery, eating out, spending, and miscellaneous. So for groceries, I'm going to continue to budget $250, even though we have regularly been going over that. Is that insane for a family of 4? Let me know, you guys. I know the groceries are out of control expensive right now, but $250 a week still seems outrageous. And we're spending more than that. So you guys will have to let me know what you're spending on groceries these days. We have been offsetting it by eating out less, which is nice. For eating out, I'm going to budget $100. For spending, I'm going to stick with $50. That's been working for me. And just in case this is the first budget video you've watched this month and you're not sure, you're thinking like there's some categories that I don't see that you should have, know that I'm not putting everything into my budget. I'm lumping a lot of things together and marking it miscellaneous, or I'm just leaving things off that I don't really feel necessary to track. A lot of our bills are on auto pay. I'm not keeping track of my husband's spending. I've tried to simplify really now that I'm getting back to budgeting because it's been so long. So if something's missing, that's why. I've accounted for everything, don't worry. And then miscellaneous, just for anything else that pops up, another $50. So I've got the $50 buffer up in this section, $50 in miscellaneous here. So hopefully that extra $100 will cover anything that I've neglected. And just in case it wasn't clear, $1,000 was not our income. That's just the amount we've budgeted. We do have more money than that. So if anything else comes up, we're covered regardless. We also have some savings, an emergency fund. So yeah, let's go ahead and add this up. We've got $250 plus 100 plus 50 plus 50, $450 in miscellaneous expenses. Moving up here to sinking funds, this is the money that I'm setting aside for things that I know are coming up this year, kind of short-term savings. I'm going to be doing a whole separate sinking funds video at the end of the month where I talk more about how much in total we set aside in the month of October and what I plan to do with that money. For now, I just know that this week I'm going to set aside $300 to sinking funds for a total of $300. And then for extra debt, I'm going to make an extra debt payment to the card that I'm currently working on, which is a city card, for $159. That's just kind of what was left after everything else. So the income total, or the amount that I've budgeted, is $1,000 minus the checking amount, which was $91, the cash envelopes, which was $450, the sinking funds, $300, and the extra debt, $159. You guys could not see any of that, could you? I'm so sorry. There it is. I'm really bad at remembering to move the planner when I've got you guys zoomed in. But that's all of those numbers, and we're just going to take that $1,000 and subtract out each category. So 91 minus 450 minus 300 minus 159, and that is 0. That's great. I always aim for a zero-based budget where every single dime is accounted for. I gave all of the money a job to do this week, and it should be a relatively easy-peasy week. So we'll see, I guess. I'm really hopeful that I'll be able to get back to you guys next week and update you all, kind of wrap up the month. Then you'll see my sinking funds for the month and a debt update. So yeah, overall, I'm really excited about how October's gone. Even though I haven't been the greatest at remembering to film things, I have been really sticking to the budget off camera as well. So that's great news, especially considering it's my first month back. It would have been really easy to get off course. And I feel like I'm on top of everything. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, despite the crazy lighting and the road noise and all of the other hiccups that I've had throughout this video, give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. I post new budgeting and lifestyle content every week here on my channel, or at least I try. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.